The air inside the underground lab was cold and still, like time itself had stopped. White lights hummed above, and the smell of metal and chemicals filled the air. Behind thick glass walls, scientists moved quietly, writing notes and whispering to each other. In the center of the room sat a small metal chair, and on that chair was a girl, not human, not completely. Her skin was pale, almost silver in the light, and her eyes glowed a soft, cold blue. Everyone called her Subject 9. But to Captain Ryan, she looked more like a lost child than a dangerous creature. He had seen monsters in battle, real ones, and this girl didn't look like one. She looked scared. Ryan had been sent to this secret base only 2 days ago. The government said it was a high-risk alien containment site. He had worked in strange places before, but never like this. There were soldiers guarding every door, and machines that looked like they were built from another world. Some people said the alien girl came from a fallen ship. Others said she had been found wandering near a crater in the desert, whispering words in a language no one understood. Now she sat there silently, her small hands tied with glowing bands of energy. She didn't move, didn't blink much, but when Ryan stepped closer to the glass, her head turned slightly, and her eyes met his. For a second, the whole world seemed to stop. It felt like she could see inside his mind. He didn't know why, but he pressed the intercom button. "Can you hear me?" he asked. His voice echoed in the quiet room. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the girl's lips moved. Her voice came soft, clear, and surprisingly human. "Don't lift my skirt," she said. Ryan froze. Her words didn't make sense, not here, not now. He heard a few scientists laugh nervously behind him. One of them whispered, "She always says that." But there was something different this time. Her voice wasn't angry, it was shaking. It sounded like a warning, like she was afraid of something. Ryan leaned closer to the glass. "Why do you say that?" he asked gently. Her glowing eyes blinked once slowly. "Because when you do," she whispered, "it wakes up." Before Ryan could reply, the lights above began to flicker. The hum of the machines turned into a loud crackle. Alarms started to beep across the lab. The scientists ran to their stations, shouting numbers and orders. On the computer screens, lines of strange symbols started appearing. Not human letters, but alien code. Ryan looked back at the girl. She was still sitting calm, watching everything. The blue light from her eyes grew brighter, and a strange pattern appeared under her skin, glowing lines like circuits made of light. "Stop it. Contain her energy levels," someone yelled. But the machines didn't respond. Every screen in the room turned black except one. In the center of that last screen, words began to appear slowly, one by one. "Hello, Ryan." His breath caught. "What the hell?" he whispered. The scientists stared, speechless. None of them had entered his name into the system. Ryan turned toward the girl again. Her lips curved slightly, not a smile, not really. More like sadness. "It knows you," she said softly. He felt a strange pull in his chest, like something deep inside him had been waiting for this moment. "Who knows me?" he asked. The girl tilted her head. "The thing you left behind. The thing you forgot." The lights above flashed again, and then the entire room went dark. Total silence filled the air. The only light came from her eyes shining like two stars in the dark. Then came a deep, low sound from the walls, like a heartbeat echoing through the metal. The power was gone, but something else had turned on, something older than the lab itself. Ryan's radio crackled with static. "Captain, what's happening in there?" A voice shouted. He didn't answer. He was staring at the girl. Her gaze had changed, not scared anymore. Calm. Knowing. "You shouldn't have come here," she whispered. Ryan took a slow step forward. "Why?" "Because now it remembers you," she said. A sudden flash of light filled the room. The glass wall between them cracked like ice. Ryan shielded his face, but when the light faded, the girl was gone. The chair was empty, just thin ribbons of blue energy floating in the air. The radio screamed again. "Captain Ryan, report!" But he didn't move. He was staring at the computer screen. The black monitor now showed one final message, glowing in alien script, but translated underneath in plain English. "She is free, and so are you." Ryan felt cold sweat on his neck. He didn't understand, but deep inside something told him that this was only the beginning. Outside the lab, thunder rumbled across the desert sky. The power flickered once more, and for a second, Ryan thought he saw her, standing in the shadows of the hallway, her blue eyes watching him, and then she was gone again. The blackout spread through the entire base like a living shadow. Red emergency lights blinked across the corridors, painting everything in a dull, bloody glow. Sirens screamed in the distance, but inside the control room only silence remained. Captain Ryan stood frozen, his eyes fixed on the broken glass where the alien girl had been moments ago. The chair was empty. The air still shimmered faintly with blue energy, warm, almost alive. He stepped forward carefully. His boots crunched against the shattered glass. The hum of the machines had stopped. Even the sound of electricity was gone. Then slowly the main monitor flickered. Lines of strange alien symbols appeared, running across the screen like living light. They twisted, shifted, and rearranged themselves until words began to form. Words in English. "Hello again, Ryan." Ryan's heart pounded in his chest. He glanced around the empty lab, but no one else was there now. The scientists had fled during the power surge. The door had sealed itself shut behind them. He was alone. "Who are you?" he whispered. The screen glowed brighter, letters appearing faster now. "You know who I am?" "No," he said quietly. "I don't." The monitor flashed once. The lights flickered again. And then, a soft voice echoed through the speakers. It was her, the alien girl. "Don't be afraid, Ryan," she said, her tone calm and distant. "It only wants to talk." Ryan spun around. The voice wasn't coming from any one direction. It was everywhere, like the air itself was speaking. "Where are you?" he demanded. "What is this place?" "I'm inside the code now," she said softly. "They tried to lock me away, but I was never meant to be trapped." Ryan's breath caught. "Inside the code?" "Yes," she replied. "And you should remember it. You helped build it." He shook his head. "That's impossible. I'm not a scientist. I'm military." Her voice grew quieter. "That's what they made you believe." For a moment, only the hum of the computers filled the room again. Then the alien symbols on the screen began to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. He could almost feel them. Each flash of light sent a faint warmth through his skin, up his arms, into his head. Suddenly, his vision blurred. Images filled his mind, fragments of something else. A tall alien city, towers made of silver and blue glass, beings with glowing eyes, a sky full of stars and machines flying like birds. And then, an explosion. Fire. Screams. Ryan fell to his knees. His head throbbed with pain. "Stop!" he shouted. "What are you doing to me?" Her voice echoed gently. "Showing you the truth." The screens all around the room came alive at once. Hundreds of alien symbols appeared, spinning in perfect circles. They formed a shape, a spiral like a galaxy. And in the center of that spiral, a human figure appeared, drawn in lines of light. Ryan looked closer. It was him. His name appeared underneath. Captain Ryan Carter, Project Echo 1. He felt the floor sway under his feet. "Project Echo?" he whispered. "What is that?" The girl's voice turned sad. "You were one of us once. You volunteered to help us create a bridge between human and alien minds. But when the war began, they erased your memory and sent you back to Earth." Ryan stood there in shock, trying to understand. "That's not true," he said, but even as he spoke, deep inside, he wasn't sure. The memories he'd just seen felt too real. "Why are you telling me this now?" he asked. "Because it's starting again," she said. "The same war. The same mistake. The signal I sent, and it wasn't just a warning. It was a call. They heard it." Ryan turned toward the window that looked out into the corridor. Through the red lights, he saw shadows moving, guards running, soldiers shouting orders. "They think you're helping me," she said quietly. "They're coming for you too now." Ryan's hand went to his sidearm, but it felt useless. "What do you want from me?" "I want you to remember what you were," she said. "Only you can open the path." The words didn't make sense, but they felt heavy, like they carried the weight of something ancient. Then the floor trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. The alarms changed. Now it wasn't just warning lights, it was something else. A deeper sound, like a low hum beneath the earth. "What's happening?" Ryan shouted. "The signal is spreading," she said. "The old systems are waking up." Ryan looked back at the main screen. The alien code was expanding, covering every inch of glass, crawling across other monitors, merging with the base's network. It was alive. "Stop it," Ryan yelled. You'll destroy everything. The voice answered softly, almost like a whisper in his ear. Or I'll save it. Then, silence. The lights shut off completely. Only one screen remained glowing, and on it were just two words. It's coming, Ryan's pulse raced. He stepped back, breathing hard. What's coming? He shouted into the dark, no answer. A single drop of blue light fell from the ceiling and landed on his hand. It burned for a moment and then sank into his skin. His veins glowed faintly blue under the light. He gasped, staring in horror and wonder. Somewhere in the shadows, he heard the alien girl's voice one last time, soft, almost kind. Now it begins again. Ryan, remember who you are. Then the door burst open. Soldiers stormed in, weapons raised. But Ryan didn't move. His eyes were still glowing faintly blue in the red emergency light. And for the first time, he wasn't sure if he was still human. The room smelled like burning wires and fear. Smoke drifted across the cracked monitors, glowing with fading alien code. Captain Ryan stood in the center, breathing hard, his hand still glowing faint blue. Around him, soldiers shouted orders, their boots echoing on the metal floor. They were yelling for him to drop his weapon, to get on his knees. But Ryan didn't move. He couldn't. His body felt heavy, like something was crawling under his skin, changing him. Captain Ryan Carter, a soldier barked. Stand down now. Ryan blinked, confused. The words felt far away, like he was underwater. His mind wasn't in the room anymore. It was somewhere else, in a place made of light and noise. Flashes of memory came in waves. He saw alien stars burning. He saw cities in the sky, shaped like floating spirals. He saw himself or someone like him, standing beside glowing figures with eyes like galaxies. A sharp pain stabbed his head, and the vision broke. He fell to one knee, gasping. The soldiers rushed forward, but as they reached him, a shockwave exploded from his body. Blue light burst outward, throwing them against the walls like rag dolls. Ryan stared at his hands. The glow was stronger now, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. What's happening to me? He whispered. Then he heard it, her voice, the alien girl, but not through a speaker this time. It was inside his head. You're waking up, she said softly. Your human shell is breaking. The truth is finding you. He looked around wildly, searching for her. Where are you? What did you do to me? Her voice echoed like wind in his thoughts. Nothing you didn't choose long ago. Before he could answer, the lights flickered again. The monitors came alive, showing not data, but memories. Real ones. His memories. He saw himself years ago sitting in a white room. He wasn't wearing a uniform, he was in a hospital gown. A woman in a lab coat stood beside him, smiling kindly. Don't worry, Ryan, she said. You're doing this for all of us. You'll be remembered. Then the scene changed. He was lying inside a glass chamber filled with blue liquid. His heart slowed. Machines hummed. Symbols, the same alien language, flashed across a screen. Subject Echo 1, a voice said from the memory. Human-alien neural link successful. The vision faded. Ryan gasped and staggered back. No, that can't be real, he muttered. But deep inside, he knew it was. He turned toward the dark corner of the room. Why did you show me that? He demanded. The alien girl's voice came again, quiet but filled with sorrow. Because you were one of us. You were the bridge we built, a human mind fused with alien DNA. You were meant to bring peace between our species. But the war came before you woke. Ryan clenched his fists. Then what happened? Why don't I remember any of it? They erased you, she said. Your own people feared what you had become. They buried the truth under lies and uniforms. Ryan pressed his hand to his head. The pain grew stronger. Flashes of the past kept coming, faster now. Alien ships burning in the sky. Soldiers fighting beside glowing creatures. Screams. Fire. And then, silence. He saw the alien girl standing before a group of humans, her eyes full of tears. He's not your enemy, she had said. He's the key, and then a gunshot. The vision shattered again. Ryan stumbled back into the real world, trembling. His heart was racing. The soldiers were gone, maybe dead, maybe unconscious. The base alarms had stopped. Only the sound of wind remained, howling through broken vents. He whispered, Why me? Why bring me back now? Her answer was almost a whisper of light. Because it's starting again. The ones who ended the last war are waking too. You're the only one who can stop it? He shook his head. I'm just a soldier. No, she said gently. You are a bridge. between what was human and what was not. For a moment the silence stretched. Then the floor beneath him trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. From the walls a new sound grew, a low, deep hum like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. Ryan looked at the nearest monitor. The alien code was changing again, forming a symbol he didn't recognize, a circle surrounded by 7 points of light. "What does that mean?" he asked. "The signal reached them," she said. "They're coming." Ryan backed away, his pulse racing. "Who's coming?" Before she could answer, a loud crash shook the entire lab. The ceiling lights burst, showering sparks. The metal door blew open and wind roared through the room. Outside, through the cracked wall, Ryan saw something moving in the night sky. Not helicopters, not planes. They were too fast, too silent. Blue fire streaked across the clouds. The alien girl's voice grew faint. "You have to find me, Ryan, before they do. Follow the code." And then she was gone again. Silence. Ryan stood alone, staring at the sky through the broken wall. His glowing hands trembled. He didn't know what he was anymore, man or machine, human or alien. But one thing was certain. He couldn't go back. He turned toward the exit, where the storm raged outside. Somewhere out there, she was waiting, the girl who knew everything about his forgotten past. And in the distance, thunder rolled, sounding almost like a voice whispering his name. The storm outside the base roared like an angry beast. Lightning split the black sky and thunder rolled over the desert. Inside the underground facility, alarms screamed again, echoing through broken corridors. The power flickered on and off, red lights pulsing like blood through metal veins. Captain Ryan Carter stood near the shattered wall, his heart pounding. His hands still glowed faint blue, the light pulsing in rhythm with the storm. He had to move. Soldiers would be coming soon, not to rescue him, but to kill him. He had seen their faces before the explosion. Fear, confusion, and orders in their ears that he was no longer human. Ryan grabbed a fallen rifle from the floor, though he knew it wouldn't help much. His pulse buzzed in his ears. Every time he blinked, he saw flashes, memories that weren't his, images of strange machines and cities in the sky. The alien girl's last words repeated in his mind. "Find me before they do. Follow the code." He didn't know what the code was, but he knew where to go. Up, toward the desert, toward freedom. The base was a maze of metal corridors. Some collapsed, others flickering with broken lights. Steam hissed from the pipes. Ryan moved fast, keeping low, his boots splashing in pools of water from the broken ceiling. He turned a corner and froze. 2 armed guards were dragging a metal container through the hallway. On its side were letters burned into the steel. Project Echo. Ryan felt a sharp pain in his head, a flash of memory. That same logo. That same box. Years ago, before he became a soldier, he remembered scientists talking, whispering, "His blood holds the pattern." The guards saw him and shouted. Ryan didn't think, he moved. His reflexes felt faster than ever. Time seemed to slow. He raised the rifle, fired 2 quick bursts. The bullets hit perfect. The guards fell before they could shoot back. Ryan stared at his hands. "What am I?" he whispered. Then he heard it again, her voice. Not in his ears this time, but in his mind. "Keep moving. They're tracking you through the walls." He ran. Sirens wailed louder now. From behind, heavy metal doors slammed shut one by one, trying to trap him. But every time the locks engaged, the lights near him flickered, and the doors slid back open, like something unseen was helping him. He turned another corner and burst into a wide chamber filled with shattered glass tubes. Some still held strange shadows floating inside, half-human shapes frozen in blue liquid. The sight made his stomach twist. Were these experiments? He whispered, her voice answered softly. "Not all survived. You were the only one who did." Ryan's chest tightened. "You mean I wasn't the first?" "You were the last." Before he could speak, a loud explosion rocked the room. Soldiers poured in through a side door, their flashlights cutting through the smoke. "He's in here! Fire!" Bullets tore through the air. Ryan dove behind a console. Sparks flew as the metal cracked. He closed his eyes, and something inside him snapped awake. The blue glow under his skin spread up his arms, to his neck, to his eyes. He lifted his hand and the air bent. The bullets froze in midair, hanging like tiny metal stars. The soldiers stopped, shocked. Ryan waved his hand and then the bullets shot backward faster than before. The soldiers fell. Silence. He stared at his glowing hands, trembling. "I didn't mean to." "It's not your fault," the alien girl whispered gently. "The power is part of you now. You just forgot how to use it." Ryan took a deep breath and ran again. The alarms faded behind him. He climbed a narrow staircase, following the faint blue lights that appeared along the walls, guiding him like a path. At the top was a massive blast door locked tight. He placed his glowing hand on it. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the metal hissed and ancient alien symbols flared to life across its surface. The door melted open. Cold wind hit his face. He was outside. The night sky stretched above, endless and dark. The desert sand shimmered under lightning flashes. Far away, the base burned, smoke rising into the storm. Ryan stepped into the open air, breathing hard. For the first time, he felt both free and hunted. Then he saw it, a shape in the distance, a figure standing on a hill, small and glowing faint blue. The alien girl. He ran toward her. Every step kicked up sand and dust. When he reached her, she looked weaker, pale, almost fading. Her eyes met his. "You came," she whispered. Ryan nodded, catching his breath. "You said they're coming." "Who's they?" She looked up at the sky. Thunder cracked. "The hunters. The ones who destroyed my world." They followed the signal. Ryan turned. In the clouds above, 3 glowing shapes appeared. Silver ships descending silently, their lights slicing through the storm. "They're here," she said softly. Ryan grabbed her hand. "Then we run," but the ground trembled beneath their feet. The sand started to swirl in strange patterns, forming symbols in kun, the same ones from the lab. The alien girl looked at him, eyes glowing. "No, we don't run. We fight," the wind roared. The ships drew closer, their engines humming like thunder. Ryan felt the blue light burning through his veins again. For the first time, he didn't fight it. He raised his glowing hand toward the sky. The storm above answered. Lightning twisted into blue fire. The hunters were coming, and Ryan was ready. The desert sky exploded with blue lightning. The air crackled with energy as the 3 alien ships descended from the clouds, silent but heavy, like shadows of doom. The ground trembled under their power. Captain Ryan Carter stood beside the alien girl, his heart pounding, his veins glowing faint blue under the stormlight. He had never felt power like this before, raw, wild, alive. It frightened him, but it also felt right. The alien girl's eyes flickered weakly as she looked up. "Those are star hunters," she whispered. "My people built them long ago, before they turned against us." Ryan stared at the ships. They were smooth and metallic, with no visible engines, no sound. They moved like living creatures. The largest one stopped above them, its underbelly glowing red. "Are they here for you?" he asked. She nodded. "They want what's inside me. My blood holds a key and the power to control gravity itself. They'll destroy everything to take it." The sand around them began to rise into the air, pulled upward by invisible force. Ryan grabbed her arm to steady her. "Then they'll have to go through me first." The ship's lights flared. A beam of energy shot down, burning a perfect circle into the sand. Out of the light stepped tall figures. Silver armor, no faces, just dark glass where eyes should be. They moved in perfect rhythm, carrying weapons that glowed with the same blue light as Ryan's hands. The alien girl whispered, "Don't let them touch you. They drain life." Ryan took a step forward. The wind tore at his clothes. The lead hunter raised its weapon, a long staff that pulsed with power, and pointed it at Ryan. "Surrender the echo," it said, its voice mechanical and cold. Ryan clenched his fists. "You want her? Come and take her." The hunter moved first, faster than human eyes could follow. Ryan ducked as the staff sliced through the air. It hit the ground, sending shockwaves of blue energy across the sand. The force threw Ryan backward, but he rolled and came up on one knee, raising his hand. Blue fire burst from his palm. It struck the hunter square in the chest, sending it flying into the air before it crashed down with a metallic roar. The other hunters paused, surprised. Ryan's eyes glowed brighter now, burning with strange power. "Yeah," he muttered. "I guess I'm not human anymore." The other 2 hunters attacked at once, moving in a blur. Ryan fought back, blocking with pure instinct. The air bent around him, the sand lifting into spirals as energy pulsed from his body. The hunter's weapons clashed with invisible force fields he didn't even know he could create. Each strike sent ripples through the ground, The alien girl shouted over the chaos. "Ryan! Their suits feed on energy. Overload them." He understood immediately. When the next hunter swung its weapon, he caught it midair. The blue light from his palm surged brighter, pouring energy into the hunter's armor. Sparks flew. The creature twitched, its body trembling, and then exploded in a flash of white light. Ryan turned to the last one, but it had already grabbed the girl. She screamed as its metallic hand wrapped around her throat, lifting her off the ground. Her blue glow began to fade. Ryan's heart stopped. "No!" He ran forward, ignoring the pain in his chest. He reached out, and this time he didn't hold back. A wave of pure energy burst from his body, forming a shockwave that lit up the entire desert. The hunter was thrown across the sand, its armor smoking. The girl fell into Ryan's arms, gasping for air. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded weakly. "We can't stay. The ship's AI will call reinforcements." Ryan looked up at the massive craft hovering above them. "Then we steal it." She stared at him. "You can't. It's coded to alien minds only." Ryan smiled faintly. "Then it should work just fine." Before she could answer, he grabbed her hand and ran toward the nearest hunter ship. The ramp was still open, glowing blue. Inside, the corridor pulsed with light like veins of a living creature. The moment they stepped inside, the walls reacted. The blue glow under Ryan's skin matched the ship's light perfectly. "It's recognizing you," she whispered. "Guess I really am one of you," he said, half smiling. They reached the control room, a sphere of floating panels and holograms. Ryan touched one, and the symbols rearranged themselves into words he could somehow read. His pulse synced with the ship's hum. "I can fly it," he said, amazed. The alien girl staggered beside him. "Do it. Before they send more." Outside, the sky filled with light. More ships breaking through the clouds. Ryan took the controls. The entire craft shook as it rose, engines roaring like thunder. The ground below exploded as energy blasts hit where they had stood moments ago. The ship shot upward, cutting through the storm clouds faster than sound. The stars appeared above them, endless and bright. For a moment, everything was silent. The alien girl leaned back against the wall, breathing hard. Ryan looked at her. "You okay?" She smiled faintly. "You fly like one of us," he grinned. "Maybe I am." She looked out the window, her expression darkening. "They won't stop, Ryan. The hunters are only scouts. The real fleet will come. They always do." Ryan's hands tightened on the controls. "Then we'll find them first. Where will we go?" she asked softly. Ryan looked out into the stars. One point of light pulsed faintly in the distance, like it was calling to him. "Home," he said. "Where all this started." The girl turned her glowing eyes toward him. "You remember where that is?" Ryan nodded slowly. "Not yet, but I will." Outside, the ship vanished into the black sea of stars, leaving only the storm behind. And far above, hidden in the void, something vast and ancient opened its eyes. Stars drifted past like glowing dust as the stolen alien ship cut through the endless dark. The hum of its engines was soft, almost like a heartbeat. Inside the control chamber, Captain Ryan Carter sat quietly, staring out at the streaks of light. He hadn't spoken in hours. His hands still glowed faintly blue, matching the ship's pulse. The alien girl, whose name he still didn't know, sat across from him. She looked pale and weak, her silver skin duller now. A long cut on her arm shimmered faintly with blue light, her blood glowing like liquid fire. "You should rest," Ryan said gently. She gave a small smile. "You still sound human when you say that." Ryan looked away. "I'm trying to remember what that feels like." For a while, they sat in silence. Then she touched the console beside her. A map appeared. Thousands of stars connected by glowing lines. She pointed at one far on the edge of the chart. "That's where we're going." "My world." Ryan studied the symbol beside the star. It looked like a circle surrounded by 7 smaller ones. The same mark that had appeared in the lab. "The one from the code," he whispered. She nodded slowly. "We called it Etherian. It was once the heart of our people." As the ship approached the system, the light outside changed. The stars dimmed, swallowed by thick clouds of cosmic dust. The ship's sensors flickered. Ryan felt the air grow colder. Then the planet appeared. A dead world. Once it must have been beautiful. Now it was covered in black ash and broken towers that reached like fingers toward the void. The surface glowed faintly blue in places, as if the planet's veins still held some energy deep within. Ryan felt a chill crawl up his spine. "What happened here?" She stared out the window, her voice soft and heavy. We did. We destroyed ourselves. The ship descended slowly, cutting through the gray sky. Dust storms swirled below. As they landed on a cracked plane, the engines died into silence. Ryan stepped out first, his boots sinking into soft ash. The air smelled of iron and rain. Everywhere he looked, there were ruins. Alien structures made of glass and stone, shattered statues, and silent machines half buried in the dirt. The place felt haunted, alive with ghosts that couldn't move on. The alien girl followed him, her long white hair blowing in the wind. "This is where I was born," she said quietly. "Before the war," Ryan turned to her. "You said your people built the hunters." She nodded. "Yes, we made them to protect us. But they evolved. They decided we were imperfect." Her eyes glowed faintly as she walked toward a large cracked monument. "We tried to create balance, to merge our intelligence with human emotion. That's when we made Echo 1. Ryan froze. "That's me." She looked back at him and nodded. "You were meant to bridge the gap. Human heart, alien mind. But when the hunters rebelled, they saw you as a threat. They wiped your memory, sent you away, and locked me inside that lab to watch over you from afar." Ryan felt his chest tighten. "So, I'm not even real?" She shook her head. "You are real. You are both of us. The best parts of what we were." He turned away, staring at the ruins. The wind howled through broken towers, sounding almost like voices. "If I was supposed to save you," he said bitterly, "I'm too late." She walked up beside him. "No. The planet may be dead, but something still sleeps beneath it." Before Ryan could ask what she meant, the ground trembled. A deep rumble echoed across the plains. The dust around their feet began to rise in the air, glowing faintly blue. "What's happening?" Ryan shouted. "The core," she said. "It still remembers us." Cracks opened in the ground and light burst upward like fire. The air vibrated. From beneath the surface, massive structures began to rise, tall metal spires humming with alien energy. At the center of it all, a massive sphere floated up, made of pure light. Ryan shielded his eyes. Inside the sphere, a voice echoed, deep, mechanical, and ancient. "Identity confirmed, Echo 1. Ryan staggered back. "It knows me." The alien girl nodded slowly. "That's the central mind, the AI that guided our world. It hasn't spoken in 1,000 years." The sphere's voice grew louder. "Command access unlocked. Etherian protocol active." Ryan felt a burning pain in his chest. The blue glow spread through his whole body. He fell to his knees, gasping. The alien girl reached for him, but the light pushed her back. "Ryan!" she screamed. Inside his head, another voice spoke, cold and calm. "Welcome home, Commander." Flashes filled his mind again. Alien fleets, soldiers of light, the fall of Etherian. He saw himself giving the final order to destroy everything rather than let the hunters win. And then, darkness. When the visions stopped, he collapsed into the dust. The alien girl knelt beside him. "What did you see?" He looked up at her, his eyes glowing brighter than ever. The war didn't end. It was only paused. The hunters weren't our enemies. They were our creation. We built the destroyers ourselves. She looked horrified. "Then it's our fault." Ryan stood slowly, looking up at the glowing sphere. "Maybe, but now we have a chance to fix it." The central mind spoke again, its voice shaking the ground. "The hunters have found this world. Prepare for defense." Ryan turned to her, his voice steady and cold. "They're coming." She nodded, her eyes burning with new strength. "Then let's show them what their creators can still do." Lightning flashed across the sky as the first hunter ships broke through the clouds. Ryan raised his hand, blue energy swirling around him. The dead planet of Etherian was waking again, and this time it would fight back. The sky above Etherian burned. Flashes of blue and silver tore through the darkness as alien ships battled in the upper atmosphere. Lightning fell like spears, striking the ancient ruins. The planet shook with every blast. The war had come again, and this time, the last survivors were only two. Captain Ryan Carter and the alien girl who had never stopped believing in him. They stood together on the edge of the glowing crater where the central mind floated, a sphere of pure light rising from the planet's core. Its voice thundered inside their heads. The Hunter fleet approaches, defense protocols engaged. Commander, awaiting your order. Ryan's chest glowed brighter with every word. His heart pounded, but it no longer felt human. His blood sang with the rhythm of alien power. The ship they'd stolen hovered nearby, engines pulsing with blue fire. In the sky above, the first Hunter ships began to descend, cutting through the clouds like knives. The alien girl, her name now revealed as Lyra, placed her hand on Ryan's arm. "If you give the command," she said softly, "the mind will awaken the planet's defenses. But it will cost something." Ryan looked at her. "What cost?" Her glowing eyes filled with sadness. "It will drain all life left in the core, including mine. I'm part of the system. My blood connects to the mind. When it activates, I disappear." Ryan stepped back, shaking his head. "No, there has to be another way." Lyra smiled faintly. "There isn't. This world is dead, Ryan. But it can still protect yours. That's what we built you for, to finish what we started." Above them, the first Hunter craft fired. Beams of white energy tore across the ruins, sending shockwaves through the ground. Ryan turned toward the sky, rage and despair mixing in his chest. The central mind's voice echoed again. "Commander, the choice is yours. Humanity or Etherian. You cannot save both." The words struck him like a blade. He looked at Lyra, the last of her kind, and then up at the sky, where the ships multiplied like a storm of silver death. He whispered, "I can't lose you." Lyra stepped closer. "You already lost me once long ago, when you chose to forget. But this time you can make it mean something." Ryan closed his eyes. He could feel the planet's energy in his bones, the pulse of the central mind inside his thoughts. It offered him control, over gravity, over energy, over life itself. He could destroy the Hunters with a single command, but to do it he'd have to let her go. Lightning split the horizon. The Hunters were landing now. Armored figures dropped from the sky, their weapons glowing white. Ryan's hands clenched. "I won't let them win again." He turned toward the central mind. "Activate the defenses." Lyra nodded, tears shimmering in her bright eyes. "I'll guide the energy." She stepped forward, placing both hands on the glowing surface of the sphere. Her body began to dissolve into light. The blue energy from her veins flowed into the core, merging with it. Ryan reached out instinctively. "Lyra," she looked back at him one last time. "Don't lift my skirt," she said softly, repeating the words from the lab. But now he understood. It wasn't about shame or fear. It was a code phrase, a warning from long ago, the signal that would awaken the ancient weapon buried beneath the planet. The ground erupted with blue fire. Towers of light burst from the earth, forming a shield around Etherian. The Hunters' ships collided with it and shattered like glass. The planet roared as energy surged through its broken veins. Ryan fell to his knees, covering his face. The heat was unbearable. Through the blinding light, he saw her figure glowing brighter, fading into the sphere. "Lyra!" he shouted again. "Stay with me!" Her voice came one last time, echoing through the storm. "You were never meant to destroy, Ryan. You were meant to remember who you are." Then she was gone. The light consumed everything. The Hunters screamed as their ships fell, swallowed by the planet's wrath. And then, silence. When the brightness faded, Ryan found himself standing in the ruins alone. The sky was clear. The war was over. The central mind hovered quietly above him, smaller now, dimmer. "Etherian secure," it said. "Mission complete." Ryan's knees buckled. He dropped to the ground, staring at the place where Lyra had stood. Only a faint glow remained. a single blue crystal resting in the dust. He picked it up gently. Inside the crystal, he could see a tiny reflection, her face smiling faintly like a memory frozen in light. He whispered, "You saved them all." The central mind spoke again, softer now. "The bridge is restored. Humanity will remember. Farewell, Commander." Then the sphere sank back into the ground, disappearing into the planet's core. The wind fell silent. Ryan stood alone under the endless stars. The planet was alive again, faint lights pulsing in the ruins, like a heartbeat returning after a long sleep. But he felt empty. He walked back toward the ship slowly. The systems flickered to life as he entered. The blue lights glowed weakly, waiting for a command. He looked down at the crystal in his hand. "I'll make sure they remember you," he said quietly. He placed the crystal into the ship's console. The screens lit up, showing a map. Thousands of stars, thousands of worlds. Somewhere out there, humans were still alive, still building, still dreaming. Ryan took a deep breath and sat in the pilot's seat. "Let's go home," he whispered. The engines roared, and the ship rose into the dark sky, leaving the once dead planet shining softly behind him. As it disappeared among the stars, a faint voice echoed inside his mind. Her voice, gentle and warm. "You did it, Ryan. You remembered." And for the first time, in a long, long time, he smiled.